Damon! Albie, if you're here, how are you down there?
I don't know.
Should we save him? I mean, you. Should we save him?
I feel like I have a vested interest in saving myself.
Well, maybe you save him because I got my phone and I got my wallet and then I have to take my shoes off and then my hip.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just here relaxing. I didn't really feel like getting in the water and getting wet. That's just, I don't know.
Okay, well, you got you.
Yeah.
What are you just talking about? You got a show to record.
A show?
Yeah, a show.
What show? Are we doing a show?
Oh yeah, sliders.
Sliders.
What if there was a show about traveling to parallel worlds? The same year, the same Earth, only different dimensions. A world where the Russians ruled America. Or where your dreams of being a superstar came true. Or where San Francisco was a maximum security prison. We started a podcast talking about it, inviting some friends to join us. Now we hope you all come along for the ride.
Hello, Sliders fans, and welcome to the Retirement Age podcast. I mean, Fandom Entanglement. Because today we are reviewing The Young and the Relentless, Season 2, Episode 13. I'm MJ, and I'm here with my co-host, DC.
Hey, everybody.
And I'm AM.
Welcome back, AM. Good to have you.
Anti-Meridian. I'm very against it.
Yeah. Albie's back. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. We're
Doing
glad to
good.
be back.
Yeah.
I'm up to my ass in alligators over here, but it's nice to hang out with you two geezers.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
since we're all forced into retirement at age 30, we got to do something with our time.
That's weird, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's good and bad.
Mhm.
Except Damon, he's in Florida, so he's
40.
40.
Yeah. Well, me and Albie are both in
Yeah.
Florida, so yeah.
Oh, you're both
Yeah,
in Florida. Oh,
Yeah, we're both up to our ass in alligators.
Yeah. Mhm.
When they ring the doorbell, you just don't answer.
Mhm.
Right, Damon?
Yeah. Ahmad has been watching these videos, like these reels from this guy on. He talks about like all the looking at the insects or something, and he like pretends to be these insects or something. I don't know if you've seen those going around. It's pretty funny.
Mhm.
He's like, oh, what's this thing over here trying to scare me or something like that? Yeah, whatever. Well, I don't know. Want to tell everybody what you've been up to, Albie, or besides Trek exploration, or
Yeah, I've been doing some Trek explorations, been putting some QLPs out that I had in the can that I hadn't edited yet.
Mhm.
Stuff like that. Starting the new business. Doing a lot. Heading to Disney pretty soon. I
Yeah.
think in about 15 hours I'll be on my way.
Yeah. We've met at Disney before. We might meet again.
Yes.
Maybe.
That was fun.
Yeah,
That was fun. Mike should join us too.
I'm a bit farther away.
A little bit. You got to start now.
And in a different nation.
I would wait until certain people are out of office, if they are out of office, because if you come down here, they might not let you back in.
Yeah, I blame Howard Stern. So
Totally Howard Stern's fault.
yeah. I don't know. I think there was some good things and bad things about this episode. I for a little bit I was thinking, you know what? Maybe 70 is a good cutoff for a president. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just saying, you take their keys away so they don't drive.
Right.
Maybe it's okay to take the keys to the nukes off of their keychain too.
Right.
Take the biscuits away. Give them some cookies instead.
Yeah.
Some graham crackers and milk.
Mhm.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not there yet, so I can't talk. Almost though. Almost.
Yeah. We could always take this out if we need to. I was gonna say we were gonna have Albie. We're gonna have your daughter Serenity come and join us with this. So but things just didn't quite pan out.
Sorry about
But-
that. She's
that's
she's
okay.
trying. She's stressed out. She's trying to make it by the age of 30.
Right.
Unlike me, where I failed. I totally failed. I'm so hopeful on some days. I'm like,
Mhm.
more than halfway there, but you never know.
Yeah. But you can always
think-
like, share some of what she thought about it if it comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
She did watch the episode and she really liked it.
Mhm.
She was looking forward to it. Just her online school. She had to
Right.
film videos. She's doing science vlogs and she's trapped on Mars and it's very intricate. And we just ran out of time.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's. I guess we'll get into it. So if you want to start it,
Yeah,
Mike, us
okay.
old guys, let's see if we can do this. And
I got my old guy sweater on.
Yeah.
I was telling Mike this was crocheted in 1975. No, 1976
Mhm.
for my father
Okay.
by somebody who was born in the 1800s. So it's officially old.
Wow. Yeah.
But then I'm repping my generation with
Right.
Milli Vanilli.
I'm just wearing a plain old black shirt.
Sorry if I hijacked this. I was trying to get the Quinn jacket that's black and
Yes.
white checkered. And in the old days, in our day, you can go to Amazon and get like a suit jacket for $12.
Mhm.
Now it's like 70.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm not saying why, but the $12 blazers are $70 now. So I was like,
Yeah.
so sorry.
Yeah. Pretty soon we might not be able to afford to buy anything.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right.
Although
Mike.
Amazon's not all bad, you can buy this on Amazon. I don't know if you've heard of this.
Oh yeah. John, our friend John Irons wrote a book. Yeah.
1,700 esoteric syllables about yo mama
Mama.
by our friend John Irons and Jared Stern. Check it out.
Yeah, I asked John. Maybe he'll join us for
He
season
might.
3.
He's on a press tour right now,
Mhm.
Cool.
but I'm on an unofficial support one of my friends' press tour.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
Yeah.
So if you want me to read one later, just shout out a page number and I'll read one.
Maybe. Sure, we
All right.
can. Yeah.
We won't make fun of Mike's mama. Can we make fun of your mama, Damon?
My mom is gone. Well,
So it looks like we're just making fun of my mama.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Mike. Let's start it.
All right. So, The Young and the Relentless, Season 2, Episode 13. Original air date, June 7th, 1996.
Woo, we're close to that. That's almost my birthday, June 8th.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, June 7th. That's in a week. Ooh, that'd be good to get this out on June 7th, wouldn't it?
That would be cool. Okay.
That'd be cool.
29 years to the day, sure.
Sure.
So, from the DVDs, our synopsis is the Sliders arrive on a world where the young are in charge, and Wade and Quinn's doubles are married corporate executives. Quinn winds up posing as his dead double and finds questions regarding his death. Meanwhile, Arturo and Rembrandt find themselves in trouble with the law and face jail time. We've got our regular cast, Quinn O'Connell, whoops, let's try that again. We've got our regular cast, Jerry O'Connell as Quinn Mallory, Sabrina Lloyd as Wade Wells, Clevant Derricks as Rembrandt Crying Man Brown, and John Rhys Davies as Professor Maximilian Arturo.
I'm just gonna jump in. I was just gonna jump in and say it was also not because we're old, but because we haven't done this for like a month. So we're slipping up a little bit.
My fault. I keep
No,
rescheduling.
it's everybody's. We've all been kind of feeling run down, and I don't know if that's just the old.
Maybe because we're over 30.
And we're all dads, so
Yeah. Everything hurts. I don't know why.
yeah, I know. All right, continue, Mike.
So our guest stars, I've got some good notes here, and so do you, Damon, I see.
Yeah, yep.
Our big guest star was Laura Harris as Margot, which I noted she was in the main cast of season 2 of 24 as Marie Warner. And that's where I recognize her from. And what's you got here?
Yeah,
Damon?
that's
4,400 maybe.
Oh, I never saw the 4,400.
No.
But
Oh.
yeah.
She was in a few things.
Yeah.
I'm not saying who my episode crush is, but might have something to do with that.
Well, I thought she looked familiar, and that was what it was. It was for 24. I remember that season, but and then I realized there's another interesting connection here. because I forgot to mention it for Time Again and World, but both Laura Harris and Rebecca Gayheart from Time Again and World, they were regulars on a show called Dead Like Me. Did you ever see that show?
Oh yeah, I love that one.
I haven't seen it.
Oh,
She got hit in the head with a
really good.
toilet seat from the space station.
Oh, the main star, yeah, and
The main star, yeah.
Right,
and then,
right, the main
Mandy
character.
Patinkin.
Right, Mandy Patinkin.
Really good stuff. I never did watch the final movie. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I
we
watched
did.
every episode.
Yeah, so Rebecca Gayheart was a Reaper named Betty Romer for like the first 5 episodes, and then she like passed on or whatever, or moved on. Laura Harris came on and replaced her as Daisy Adair for the remainder of the series and for the movie, which was Life After Death.
From what I remember, Rebecca Gayheart, or our generation knew her as the Noxzema girl, was difficult to work with. That's why she was the original Inara on Firefly.
Oh, okay.
But they were like, nope. And they got Marina Baccarin.
Wow.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, it's interesting, and I think it's because also it's the show was shot in Vancouver. So
yeah,
there you go.
Okay.
Canadian connection as always.
Yeah.
Yay, Canada.
Yay.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land. I get excited.
Okay, sing the rest, Albie.
And maple syrup and hockey, guys. When maple leaves fall, we love you. Because Canada.
Close enough. All right, so next we've got Russell Porter as Kenny Hatcher, which he looked familiar to me only because I recently have started rewatching Jeremiah with my wife.
Oh, is that where he's from?
Yeah, he was in one episode of that. But
okay, I've seen him before. I love Jeremiah. That was great. One of those shows with no endings.
I wonder if we should. Yeah, I wonder if we should do that one at some point, Damon.
Ooh, Jeremiah. When I watched it, I got so into it, I kept eating MREs like while I was watching it, and canned food cold. Yeah, that was J. Michael Straczynski, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Great writer.
Yeah.
Nice guy. Shook my hand.
Oh, nice. I've not had the pleasure of meeting him yet.
Yeah, nice guy. Very confident. I would be too.
Yeah. Then we have Christy Cohen as Tiffany August. That was the lawyer.
Yep.
Kyle Ali Sharan as Kyle Beck. He was the CFO or whatever. Paul Jarrett.
Right?
Yeah. Paul Jarrett as Razor Gillette, which is just a fantastic name.
Did they ever actually say it in the episode? I don't know if they did, but that's what he's.
They call him Mr. Gillette at least, but I think in the credits at the end they put his full name.
Razor Gillette. Right. That was cool. Yeah. I thought it was cool because he was silent for most of the thing, and I was thinking Penn and Teller, you know.
Yeah.
But then at the end, he had a line, but less than 5 lines.
Yeah. But he has over 120 credits on IMDb.
Wow.
I hope those are speaking roles, but
I did not recognize him from anything.
No, me neither. But he's been in 3 of the Superman series. He appeared in Smallville, Supergirl, and Superman and Lois. But I haven't seen any of those. But funny how he's recycling through that group of series. Richard Cox played a character called Strangely Richard. I can't even remember who that character is, but
no.
The actor has 173 credits on IMDb and extensive voice acting, and I only bring it up because he's done some anime voice acting, including the English voice of Inuyasha, and he was the male English voice of Ranma and Ranma 1/2 for 96 episodes, which he shared with Sarah Strange, who was in Greatfellas, and she did 46 episodes as male Ranma. And then Venus Terzo from Greatfellas was the female voice. We had a whole thing about all these weird anime connections when we reviewed Greatfellas.
Yeah.
So I don't remember who the character was though.
Which one was the judge?
That was the next one. Gordon Michael Wolvett was the judge.
He's from Stuff, right?
very esoteric Canadian stuff, which I will I have an extensive mention that I'll just go through when he comes on screen in the notes later.
Yeah.
And finally, the big one I saw was Elizabeth Rosen, who played Melanie White. That was the widow of the guy who Wade had murdered. But I just have to say, finally, a connection to one of my all-time favorite shows, Traitors, which ran from 96 to 2001. It was filmed in Toronto, a lot of Canadian actors, but she was in an episode of that playing Brienne Cunningham, the niece of Adam Cunningham, who was played by the wonderful Bruce Gray. And I recognized her straight away from that. That was
Traitors. Is that a genre show, or?
It's about a corporate, like a small corporate bank, merchant bank that has a trading floor, and it's a drama, but it's good.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
5
seasons, 96 episodes, similar to Quantum Leap, where it had an ending that they didn't want to end it, but they ended it.
Oh, okay.
And then we have some wit here.
I was going to say. Oh no, I was going to say I could say these if you want to, because I was going to say these were all I think like the wit listed at the end, right?
Sure, go for it, David.
Yeah. But I'll mention this one because I don't know if they say Paul Anderson. This is a credit only. Paul Anderson as Cro-Mag. So we will mention that later. I think that was actually something that was filmed, but was not put in, probably for obvious reasons. But there was supposed to be a little invasion connection there, which maybe I don't know, maybe in canon some. I don't know if it is or not. I don't know. And he is not credited, but the floating double of Quinn that's actually Charlie O'Connell as the body.
Okay.
He's not credited.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Right. Sorry, I stepped on you.
That's okay.
Step on your toes,
share
Mike.
the deep dive, Damon.
Yeah.
That was a cool opening. It reminded me of Sunset Boulevard, the beginning of that.
Yeah, you sent that to me, a message. I'm like, oh, okay.
I think that's what the reference was. It was supposed to be like a noir episode, right?
Yeah, probably.
But it mostly reminded me of when I think it was American Dad did an homage to that.
Oh, I haven't watched American Dad too much. I used to watch Family Guy so much, but then I lost track of that one. But
with both of those, I go in spurts. It's like, oh, it's been a year, and then I watch like 28 of them.
Yeah.
And then I wait another year.
I used to love Family Guy. I haven't watched it in years. American Dad was like kind of watched it, but not really.
I think the new season's out right now. I think there's new episodes coming out right now of Family Guy.
Oh, I'm sure. That's another show that will like never end.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, I want to finish off the.
Sure. So the teleplay was by T. Edward Anthony and Von Whisenhant. I'm guessing a name there. I hope
definitely a Canadian name.
Yeah, right. Story by Michael X. Fernaro and T. Edward Anthony and Von Whisenhant, and directed by Richard Compton. And worlds visited, just Youth World. No sliding.
Yeah.
Utes.
In or out.
Utes. Yep, Utes.
Utes.
All right.
All right, first impressions. Well, you want to take it away, Albie, and then we'll.
First impressions?
Yeah.
I thought it was weird. The logic of this episode kind of makes no sense, and yet it does, because as we get older, at least people like myself get weaker, get less able to do things, forget where the hell they are and what's going on. Where am I?
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense, but it really doesn't make sense because you don't really know who you are until you're about 42.
Isn't that why it's the answer to everything? 42?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah.
I had no idea about anything until I was 42, and then I got it. And then I was like, huh. And then I was like, damn it, I don't have much time left. So it is weird. I like the logic of Howard Stern, doing it, but the voting age of 8, come on, that's a little, I could see maybe 14, 16. I don't know.
Yeah. I bring that up too. It's that was,
But it was cool mentions, But I don't know. For me, it was less about the age difference and more about the noir mystery. And that was pretty obvious the whole time who the killer was, because she didn't grieve or wasn't in shock at all. But it was a cool ending. So I'll give it more points for a cool ending that they only could have done with parallel dimensions. That's my first impressions.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I would say this was, I hate to say this was probably my least favorite episode so far, and this is like pretty much like the end of season 2. It's like, was not in air date order. It was close to the end. I think it was like in air date order. Invasion was like right after this, and then that weird the time going backwards world, because they didn't know what to do with that episode. I also feel like I like the concept behind it, even if it felt a little poorly executed. And maybe it's just because I'm old, I can't really relate to that, the whole A story thing, the cutthroat corporate atmosphere or whatever was going on there. I can't relate to that at all. I'll get into it a little more. I like the B story a lot more than the A story. That's my first impression of it. Even back then when I watched it, I was like, this is kind of weird. And
I will say, when I watched it originally, I thought it was a much better idea than watching it now, 29 years later.
Yeah.
So I guess it's perception or perspective bias. Would that be?
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm feeling much the same. Definitely about on par with the season opener Into the Mystic in terms of storytelling, where it's like, this is a great concept, but just not really seeing its full potential. It's kind of too bad they had to bookend the season with the 2 weakest episodes in a way, but if we're watching it in this order, I just found it hard to follow some of the deadlines between the like meeting with government officials, and then when they had to slide, and then they had to throw in trying to figure out who had who murdered, and it felt like they crammed too much into the one episode. But I guess the one upside is seeing a world where Quinn and Wade are together. We haven't really seen that yet, so even though it ends up being for the wrong reasons.
And
I did like the kissing part. I was like, hee hee hee. They get the kiss even though it wasn't them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's something we're not really going to see again either. So this is like pretty much it.
Yeah.
Season 3 it starts getting like
spoilers, Ed.
They go away from that. Like,
so what you're saying is Quinn isn't into decapitated heads or anything like that?
No.
Me neither. It just doesn't do it for me.
It won't even technically be him.
That's true.
All right, I didn't get a chance to put the alternate history in here, but I guess we'll kind of mention it as we get into the notes. What seems to be the divergent point, even though it seems kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, as we said, as we mentioned, it makes sense, and then it doesn't make sense. Anyway, I'll just note that I like that. I think you even mentioned it at the end, Mike, that you like that line that Arturo finally has a soft landing. Finally.
Yeah.
He comments on that. And this was the thing. This was part of it too. Was the music was what was getting me in this episode. It just sounded. It didn't sound like Sliders to me. It was. There was this weird. Is it that? Were they going for that noir thing? Is that what that was? That was.
I feel like they were, but I didn't catch that until the third time I watched it. Really, then it all kind of clicked.
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason why this episode never clicked for me either, because it just sounded so different. I mean, it's the same. It's Anthony Marinelli was one of the 2 composers for the season, so it's just, I don't know. It's just something was weird about the score to me. But anyway, that was kind of where I'm going with that, with the whole, floating in the. We come in from this.
Right.
It's just like weird.
Yeah, I definitely got noir vibes after the third time with the floating in the pool, and then evil Wade just being who she was and the way she was acting and using her feminine wiles on Quinn. And just murdering everybody. Yeah. You get a murder. You get a murder. You get a murder.
Yeah. So, well, it's been a long time since we've seen a Wade double, though. Has it really been since the pilot?
I think so.
So that's how underutilized
Wade's
character was.
I think so.
I thought Sabrina Lloyd was good.
Yeah.
I could definitely tell the two apart.
Yeah.
They were definitely distinct characters, even though they were both her.
Mm-hmm. Well, you had made a note to me, Albie, when you were watching it. You're like, "Ooh, I like Wade in this one." I knew you would.
Evil Wade is kind of hot.
Yeah.
There's something about her. I don't know what it is, but like I love Wade, normal Wade, our Wade, but Evil Wade, I don't know. She just did something for me.
Yeah.
I think I don't know the different fashion. She had a different type of bra on. I noticed, but I think it was the hair, the makeup, and just the attitude she had.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she too apparently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then our normal regular Wade was all sad and being like, "See what could have been," and hand him a picture and stuff.
Right.
She got to work at it more. She got to go after that boy.
Yeah.
It's possible. She knows it now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, you talk about the clothes. Wade and Quinn, when they're getting ready for the party, or I guess when he's getting ready for the party, they say the clothes are so retro, but why? I don't understand why the takeover of the youth would mean the fashion would carry on from the 80s for another decade.
I hadn't thought about that.
Interesting touch, but I don't get the logic behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did like that with the standard patterns, but with the hip new young fabric.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. So Wade convinces her, of course, Quinn to stand in as QR, and then somewhere in there, Remy says they're leaving town tomorrow.
Right.
But they're not. The whole timeline is screwed up. I just every time someone mentions when they're leaving, I point it out. So
yeah.
Yeah,
it was confusing.
Yeah. But then they're getting ready for the party, and Quinn says, well, he should know by now not to split the party, but he says, why don't you guys go out and check the city? We'll meet you back at the hotel. And why can't they just hide out in QR's bedroom while they wait for the party to be over? But the answer is there'd be no B plot if they did that.
Right.
Yeah, they could just sit and watch TV.
Yeah.
Which they've done before. They've watched television and research.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I feel like they should have caught on, but now to always keep a really close eye on that timer. Never let that out of your sight.
Yeah, why wouldn't you hold on to that thing? That's your only lifeline.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm.
Just set it down and forget where you put it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially when ominous music is playing. Look around, Don't let somebody take it.
Weird ominous music. Yeah. Yeah. So this is why we introduced ourselves with our initials before. I don't quite know why is the alt Quinn called QR.
What is his middle name? You guys got to know, right?
We know what his middle initial is. We assume it's his middle initial, right? I mean,
Robert.
I don't know,
right?
but yeah.
What's middle initials? That start with R?
Rembrandt.
Ooh, that'd be cool. Reginald, Ronald.
Yeah.
Rick. QR just doesn't flow. That bothered me the whole time. That was like JL from Picard. JL doesn't flow. It has to flow like CJ.
Well, I hear QR and I'm thinking QR code. Is that like somehow
yes, the whole time
writers predicting the future, like it does tend to? I don't know.
Yes. Like this QR, for example, this QR code.
Yeah.
Just put one in there.
Well, I thought it kind of evoked a sense of JR, as in who shot JR.
Ah, okay.
Possibly.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out the whole slide wasn't a dream. So
right. Mm-hmm.
Yet.
Yeah. I just thought it was a nice way to differentiate between our Quinn. So you're not saying the Quinn of this world the whole time. It's just QR. Right. You know who we're talking about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Little shortcut there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right. It could have been it's a strange initial to choose.
QR.
Yeah.
Like I said,
QL. That sounds good. Should have been QL.
Like I said, it was like a way to make him sound cool, I guess, or something. Yeah.
Even something clunky. I guess if you say it enough times, it works.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. True.
Yeah.
But another example of them like predicting where we are now. A news report talking about the government's decision to suspend Social Security. Like,
oh my goodness! Right?
Wow. Yeah.
That's like perfect timing. 29 years later.
I know. So I guess
scary stuff.
Yeah. So I guess this is kind of where we get into the alternate history. There is some logic to it that they determined that it would bankrupt the country, which is that's kind of been a thing, right? I mean, they didn't expect people to live into like their 70s or 80s. They figured people would die before they collected Social Security. Isn't that kind of the reason?
Yeah,
isn't that?
But also, they're spending the money that's put away that people put in on other things and borrowing from it and stealing it, and that's why it's not working. If they left it in there, it'd be fine.
Yeah, but Howard Stern being the catalyst. Do we even need to explain to the young-uns who Howard Stern is? I feel like we need to explain who Howard Stern is.
I guess he's old now. Tune to channel 100, 101 on your radio.
I think he has a podcast nowadays. So
probably, yeah. He was the shock jock for you young-uns. He was like this. I kind of listened to him a little bit in my college days. I was like, he was kind of really pushing the. I wouldn't say he was crude, but like I don't know. I didn't listen to him regularly, but
crude in a wholesome way. He had like naked ladies on the radio, and we'd be like, I can't believe they're doing this.
Right. Tripper.
But it's the radio, you know.
From the pilot episode, I think that's what Tripper. When Quinn was listening to the radio, that was kind of what Howard Stern.
Yeah,
I think it was based on Howard Stern.
I still listen every once in a while if he has a good guest on. I think Sarah Silverman was on his channel on the satellite radio, and I was like going through and I heard her voice and I was like, oh, okay. So I listened to that. It was interesting.
Yeah.
But I could see him doing a bit back then and just going a little too far, and then people said that's a great idea, but I don't think he meant to do it.
Right. Yeah, but I did.
President apparently.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I found it even for sliders. I found this a little far fetched. And why in the world would he? It was actually 9. I think that he lowered the voting age to 9. Yeah. Why in the world would you make it that low? That makes no sense to me. You don't know anything at 9. Like, come on.
Well, I don't think the 9-year-olds would have got it as wrong as the people that voted this past time did.
Yeah.
I mean, it couldn't have been worse.
That's true.
I mean, I'd rather have John Cena, The Rock, Bluey. You know.
Did Rennie have any thoughts about that, Albie, when you were?
About the voting age? No, she was more into the murder mystery because she's like a mystery person. She's got her own murder board, and she loves murder mysteries. Like her favorite show, one of them is Only Murders in the Building. Oh, and she prints out every suspect and their names, and she's got the red yarn with the thumbtacks and stuff.
That's a really good.
So she knew who did it, like in the first 2 minutes of this episode.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I remember, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But she was right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We interrupt this program to bring you the opinion of someone who is not over the hill.
So we are here at a sort of like an impromptu day at Epcot, and look who we ran into. It's Serenity Burdge.
Yes.
How are you, Serenity?
Hello. I'm doing good. Finally. I'm finally not busy anymore. It's been a long day.
Here with her dad. I know us old geezers. We're trying to keep up with the youngins in charge.
Yeah, she had 5 minutes for us, as long as we met her at Disney.
Yeah.
Right. So you did see this episode of Sliders.
Yes, I did.
Yes. So what were your first impressions of the episode?
I liked it. I liked the whole idea where young people ran the world, and calling 30-year-olds old. But I thought that it was a really good episode, and it was something that really only Sliders could have done, with the acting like the person that's a copy of. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I think they could have only done it with this show that I know of.
Well, so something that didn't really come up when we had our regular review was something that I thought about too. Is like, how exactly would that world work? Because you'd have to start really young to kind of it takes like what, 10 years at least.
At least
Just to raise. So like by the time you guys are even like, we would have to retire before you even like were finished with high school or something. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how the logistics of this world would work.
Yeah.
That's kind of what my issue was with it. And what do you think of the voting age being 9?
I think 9 is a little young.
I think
Maybe
so.
like 15 in this
15,
world.
That's a good age.
That's a good age for like youngest.
Yeah, because the older people being in charge of this country is
No.
I don't
Not
think
a good
it's-
idea.
Yeah, I
not
don't
a good
think
idea
it's
right
working.
It worked for a while, but
Yeah.
doesn't seem to work anymore.
No.
now. Yeah. Anything like specifically that stood out to you in the episode that you wanted to share, or?
I definitely loved the fashion choices. Those I absolutely loved. I loved the style of everybody. Definitely loved the checker jacket. That was one of my favorites. that was pretty cool. But I think it was. I think also the marketing with the math, the cola.
Edulearn.
Yeah. I think that's like shows that like everybody's trying to like advertise something the minute that they get. They're just like here for business, no matter what the cost is. I think that was a really good representation of that.
Do you think Edulearn was going to work though?
No.
Do you think kids would be able to learn on computers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of comes up that the tablets and stuff is like that.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah. Well, if nothing else, because I know you have a pretty busy schedule.
Yeah.
So, what was your final thoughts and ratings on the episode?
My final thoughts was that I actually liked it. It was actually pretty good. I did hear your guys' ratings. I would actually rate it a little bit higher. I would actually rate it a 7 out of 10.
You have silly objects. You know what a silly object?
7 out of 10. Checkered jackets.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
7 out of 10. All right. You want to tell everybody? I know you have like a little video that you did recently, right?
Movie.
Your movie.
Oh yeah. I did do a movie. Still can't pronounce the actual name. The Dog and the Lighthouse Keeper. It is a short film, a short silent film about a dog and a lighthouse keeper. And the main star, a girl with a yo-yo. So I would recommend checking that out on my YouTube channel, at Serenity Burdge or Serenity.
Link down below.
Link down below. And yeah, so that's it.
All right. Well, thank you, Rennie.
Okay.
And hopefully next time we can maybe do like a more proper when you're not busy.
Which she's less on the go.
When
Yeah.
you're not on the go.
She's a woman of the world.
And us old guys, we need to rest to get more energy to
Yeah.
do this stuff. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I just found it. I agree, Damon. I found it very strange that the world was just chugging along like ours was until 1980, and a radio host like topples the government. It just changing voting ages and retirement ages just like that.
It's not far fetched because a reality TV star can ruin the world.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Yeah,
I mean, it's no different. It's the same thing.
just 40 years earlier. Yeah.
Mo-
He thinks our government's doing business
just
and we're
saying.
a reality show. Yeah.
True. They don't say how he got into power. It probably was
Right.
through legitimate election. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Anyway,
So I mean,
good point. Good point.
It's
Maybe it wasn't a
happened.
prediction of the future.
it's happened. It's different celebrities they picked, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been one or the other. That they got it really close, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
All right.
and Arturo said it right. He said, on the bright side, the Department of Recycling and Waste Management is a qualified success, and Congress has outlawed timber clear cutting. And Rembrandt said that would cheer him up if he were a tree.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That
That's
was one of the quotes I chose for the end. That was a good one.
Yeah.
They figured out recycling. We need to do that.
Mhm.
They're still dumping it in the ocean. I don't know why I wash it out and put it in the recycling bin. So
Yeah.
they can dump it in the ocean.
I don't know about where you are, Albie, but here in Polk County, I think they basically they don't do recycling anymore. And I don't know if it's just because they don't have the manpower for it or what, but I don't know.
The more you look into it, it's all a lie. They take it and
Mhm.
they sell it to China, and China dumps it in the ocean.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or no, they pay China to take it, and then China dumps it in the ocean.
Yeah. Mhm.
Well, it's
So you might as well just throw it away.
It's so the
Very
big
sad.
soft drink companies can sell you everything in a plastic bottle, and
Yep. So and put a recycling symbol on there, so
Yeah.
you think it's being recycled,
Yeah.
even though it's not.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One day they'll be mining it.
So I again kind of rolling my eyes a little bit. Professor, did you not see the sign that says you're not allowed to have a beer? And especially since you just gave us exposition on the whole history, and now you're seeing it in action, and do you not look at yourself as overage? Is that what it is with him? He's just so cocky about it. Like,
Mhm.
they just said people over 30 were considered senior citizens and are required to retire. So it's like, and you're acting like all like well.
So why can't they drink though?
Yeah, I found
I
that
know.
nonsensical as well. Because
Yeah.
you're too old to drink. You're too old to enjoy alcohol. It just seemed like they were trying to make a joke of it, but it
Yeah.
didn't. It just didn't land very well.
Just reversing the whole "you're underage, now you're overage."
Now you're
thing.
overage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That part didn't make sense.
In contrast to the other episode where the drinking age was like 27 or something, and they wouldn't serve Wade.
Oh, well, that was for because of the Constitution thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think so, right?
Yeah.
Because there was like a little bit of kind of like a prohibition type thing going on. I think something like that.
Well, that was oh shoot.
It was I think it was Time Again in World.
Yeah, it was
where
Time Again in World,
Constitution was being repressed, so there were a lot of things being repressed on that.
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
Mhm.
Again,
Yeah.
man. This Tracy Torme, he was our generation's Nostradamus.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And then I Arturo and Rembrandt being represented by a person named Tiffany. Yeah. I feel you, Professor. I feel the same way. Like, really, Tiffany?
That was one of the things about this episode, because I had to explain it to Serenity, because now those names are older people to her, but back then they were
Right.
kids' names.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because they were just new names. You know how they all, now kids will be named Mildred and stuff again. But it was funny that he mentioned Debbie Gibson and Tiffany, because I took Rennie to a Tiffany concert at Epcot,
Mm-hmm.
and she got to sing I Think We're Alone Now with Tiffany. Tiffany was like
Oh,
this with
right.
the microphone, and Rennie was singing with her. It
Oh,
was only like 5 seconds, but
yeah. Mm-hmm.
it was cool that she got the reference.
Yeah. Isn't she now
Yeah.
Deborah Gibson? Is she not Debbie Gibson?
Yeah, for a while, but now it's back to Debbie.
Oh, it is back.
But I think Tiffany won that war. I think it was cool. She's there every year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You go to those Epcot concerts, Damon?
I think we've gone for we've seen like some of the Christmas stuff, I think, but
Oh, did
yeah.
you see Neil Patrick Harris?
Did we get this? I'm trying to remember if we made it or not. Was that I don't remember. I feel like maybe we did. I don't know. Everything becomes a haze at some point, because it's like,
we do the concert ticket with the dinner package, so
Yeah.
we can sit in the first couple rows.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's why she was singing with Tiffany. Totally worth it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Tiffany, I like Tiffany in this episode. The lawyer, she had nice teeth.
Yeah.
It made me think of Ally McBeal, where that lawyer, or no, the judge was like, "Show me your teeth," and that's who won the case, the person with the best teeth, and she had nice teeth.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's why she won.
Yeah.
But I do like how the whole court appears to be taking place in a mall atrium.
Where is that, Mike? Have you been there?
No,
I've seen that in so many Canadian shows, like
Really?
Stargate and stuff. Yeah.
I don't recognize it. But Vancouver's the opposite end of the country from me, basically.
Oh, so it's a ways away.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Like that's West Coast. That's
And you're East Coast?
and I'm Central. I'm in the Eastern time zone, but kind of the middle of the country.
My friend Brent, he's West Coast Canada, almost Vancouver, a little bit outside.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You might know him. His name's Brent.
Oh yeah, sure. We know everyone. But yeah, so that mall atrium, I don't know. I'd be curious to know too where it is, but I did kind of jump up when I saw the judge. He's played by, mentioned before, Gordon Michael Wolvitt. And probably only kids of the late 80s, early 90s in Canada would remember him as PJ Gord on YTV. And PJ stood for program jockey. So they had these folks who were on in between shows, and they would just like, talk about the shows or do activities or whatever. But back then it was a new network that was mostly doing reruns of syndicated shows, and that's how I ended up watching, like, I guess Doctor Who with the Fourth Doctor, Tom Baker, and and like Get Smart, and they had all these shows from the 60s on rerun, but and then amidst all your cartoons, of course, for the younger kids. But I definitely wrote a letter to PJ Gord with a drawing of Doctor Who with his long scarf, and
you need to get him on the show.
I know, right?
I'm sure he's available now.
He probably is, yeah. But his brother, James, was also an actor on a absolutely terrible show that I also watched all of, called Doghouse, which coincidentally was also aired on YTV. So, so Doghouse was a show about a cop who died, and then his soul went into the family's dog.
Oh, that sounds amazing!
But then the dog could talk. So he was a crime-solving dog.
Oh my god,
that's amazing. Did he feel weird being naked?
I don't think it ever came up.
Because I don't think I could get over it. I'd be a dog, but I'd be like, put some pants on me, please.
So that was my nice little bit of nostalgia there when he came on the screen. But
he was good. He was really good.
Yeah, he was funny. He played that character to a T.
Yeah.
What Rennie popped about that is he mentions the word cap. He says it's one thing to cap me or something, and now the kids today use the word cap for meaning something. But I had never heard. We had to rewind it and use like the closed captions to make sure that's what he said.
I probably missed that.
So,
I only got to watch it once. I couldn't watch it again.
Well, it's your show. You don't have to really watch it. I'm the guest. I have to really watch it.
Yeah. I was going to watch it again, but like, I just don't. I had my notes. I'm like, I think these notes are good enough because.
But he used the word cap, so that's the only other time I heard it like as a slang term.
Huh. Interesting.
So again, Tracy Torme.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tracy Torme.
Yeah.
Well, back to the timeline in this. Somewhere in here, it's now the next morning, which Remy said yesterday they were leaving today, but now Remy says they're leaving the day after tomorrow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So are they?
Well, they're old. They don't know what's going on.
Are they here 3 days? Because they didn't look at the timer apparently. But
they're over 30. They don't know.
Yesterday he said it would be today, so I don't know. It was either lazy writing or editing or somehow it didn't get caught. It just, I get tangled up when stuff like that doesn't follow through properly.
Yeah. And this starts happening a bit more. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Great.
They might have all been phoning it in except for Sabrina Lloyd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did find it was clever of Arturo faking the heart attack, though, to stage their escape, because
it's like they knew what they were doing, like they'd done it before.
Well, also, I guess they figure, like, even like, like younger people would just assume like, oh yeah, this old guy's having a heart attack, so like,
right.
Yeah,
I'm definitely going to use that in the future
to escape imprisonment.
Yeah, I've never been arrested successfully.
Well, I do like how in the scuffle though Remy does a Star Trek punch to take out the guard.
Wow, some Kirk Fu.
Yeah, exactly.
Kirk Fu.
That's funny.
Yeah. Okay, so did you guys make any sense of the Edulearn thing that we're talking about in the in the little board meeting thing? Because it didn't seem like it was really the answer to the better education that Quinn thought it was going to be. It was just more of a marketing thing. I
Impact Cola.
Yeah.
Was that it? Impact Cola?
Yeah.
If you have 7 Impact Colas and your friend has 5, how many do you have together?
Impact Cola.
Yeah, I think it was how what's the head of Duolingo thinks all education can be replaced with AI in the next few years. Like,
Oh,
I think it will be.
I think this is a similar thing. They thought they could just put a computer in every classroom and have the kids do all their learning on a computer. No need for teachers anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny you bring up the AI thing, Mike, because I think it was even brought up in the Sliders Discord. People talking about a possible reboot. Talking about a reboot and thinking that AI is going to be the answer to like bringing everybody back, and I'm like, it's like people will really love that. I'm like, no, we won't. No. I don't want AI to replace actors and writers.
Absolutely,
I understand it, like using it to like you want to like de-age actors and stuff, like existing stuff that's out there. Like Marvel does that really well, but like never to replace actual people.
No.
I don't want to become obsolete. So, but people are like, well, it's inevitable. I'm like, I didn't answer.
No, it's not.
It's
a tool. It's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think if they ever did restart Sliders, it'd be great to have the original cast. You know, the original cast at their age now. I mean, Jerry O'Connell's still a good actor. Yeah. Still a handsome man.
Yeah.
But they would probably just get a whole new cast and just do it totally different and not have an opening theme.
Yeah. You mean like Quantum Leap?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Opening theme. Yeah.
It'd be a good thing by itself, but not the original, not the same thing. But I mean, like my daughter, she goes to school on her laptop, you know, and I mean, one of her teachers did a review of one of her assignments, you know, because they have to give feedback.
Right.
And it was totally ChatGPT that did the feedback that she got.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, the teachers are using AI even.
Wow.
Yeah. See,
Yeah, you can tell AI ChatGPT, at least the older models.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it's one thing to use this kind of stuff to help with like Amada uses it for product like description stuff for like tours and everything like that. When you don't really have the time to do stuff, but like as I was saying, like I don't do AI. Like when I write the show notes, I don't use AI because I can tell. So I just kind of write my own thing because I'd rather do the work, you know.
I write things and I say make it better. So I don't know, but I see it replacing teachers after a while. I think Bill Gates talked about it a lot, and you know, individual learning plans for everybody, and I don't know. It would have to be like a special AI that is checked to be factual because they seem to fantasize a lot.
Yeah.
So, you know. But it'll get there. Like all the new models are crazy, getting better. Like every 3 months, it's like a totally different world.
Feel like we got I was gonna say, I feel like we got a little off topic.
Yeah,
somehow Edulearn somehow got into that. But it was like,
but they were more designing software, and I was thinking, I don't know why while I was watching, I was thinking like they were burning CDs to install on computers and selling the CDs, kind of like Microsoft was for like Windows 95 back then, something like that. But I could see how now it's teachers, they're gonna be out of work. And you know, I don't know. It's weird because like how long do we hold on to the old models of like the schoolhouse? And you know the single lady in town, you know, having the 6 grades of kids and you know Laura Ingalls kind of stuff. How long do we hold on to paper and pencil and stuff? You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's you mentioned even with Rennie and doing like a tablet. I mean it's like Ciro will pick up like he understands how things work on these electronics, and he's almost 5, but he's like not even 5 yet, and it's like I didn't teach you that. I'm going to ask him, like, how do I,
Serenity was learning to read at 2 with different apps for toddlers that have sounds and letters, and you put them in order and it makes words. I couldn't read until I was like 6 or 7 probably.
It's scary how fast all this technology
and then
is.
Implants. I was all on board with the implants, but not anymore.
All right.
Well, back to the board meeting.
Sorry.
No. We all did it. It's fine.
No, we all
Great.
No need to apologize.
Okay.
Fine.
But Quinn, in this meeting, Quinn says that the meeting with the governor was tomorrow, which should be Friday. Then he says he has to slide out by Wednesday evening. But if that's 2 days from now, wouldn't that be Sunday or Saturday? Or anyway, just for crying out loud, when you're writing an episode, make a calendar or something to match the plot.
Yeah, I know.
Is that the script supervisor's job to check that stuff? Somebody's job, right?
No, somebody did not do their job here. But
Yeah. Call that person up.
Yeah,
I will.
Maybe AI wrote it.
29 years ago.
Yeah, really bad AI.
Yeah.
You know, DOS based. Drop the X.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is going back to Arturo and Rembrandt, basically. I don't care how young these people are in this world. The elderly deserve a lot more respect and compassion than they give them in this episode, which is kind of like why I was like, it just seemed really over the top. Like, because I'm thinking of the bartender is basically like taking a bat to him. Like, come on, you young'uns wouldn't even exist if it weren't for us. Now get off my damn lawn, all right? Get off my lawn.
And how does that work? Because even these young kids that are a-holes got to know, 5-10 years, that's going to be me.
Right.
So it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. They're telling him you belong in your place or whatever, but like that's going to be your place in a few years.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. So
that's why I don't think it would stick. I think people in charge and in power would want to stay in charge and in power and change the laws as they aged.
Right.
I would think.
Like kind of what's happening now.
Yeah.
Ignore the laws. Yes.
So this is in reference to not only the takedown in the bar, but I guess that was earlier, but this is when they're being rounded up for curfew. Is that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they end up in that homeless shelter basically, and then Quinn and Wade are trying to solve the QR's murder. So then Quinn decides they'll go to the internet cafe, but the surfing zone that they go to looks like they just dropped computers into the bar. It's the same set. They just I don't think the computers were there before.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Because you can see the lobby from the hotel, because then Wade comes in from the hotel lobby later and says Arturo and Remy were at the hotel on Tuesday, haven't been back since.
Yeah.
So again, what day is it even anymore?
I'm gonna get a flow chart written down.
Yeah,
I know.
I had to explain why it was a surfing cafe, because we used to surf the internet, because she didn't understand there was no surfboards or anything, and I was explaining like you weren't always on the internet. You had to go to the internet and connect to the internet. Then you were on for a while, and then you weren't on.
And then there was dial up where you bing bing.
Yeah.
Like, what is
I think I just connected to something. But yeah, she couldn't understand not being on the internet.
Yeah,
it's not a thing
Yeah.
anymore.
Oh yeah, that's
I feel like we're on the internet right now.
Let's Sarah will be looking at something in the car, and it's like, or he's listening to Spotify or something. He's like, and stuff is like stopping. I'm like, where's the internet? I'm like, it's not always an internet in the car. It's like we're passing through a zone where he doesn't understand any of that yet. So yeah.
Yeah, Rennie's third word was hotspot.
All right, so here's my thing. So wait. So again, when did they have time to make that tape of Wade confessing to murdering QR? Because Gillette was holding him up at gunpoint in the car, and we went right from that to Quinn is all of a sudden showing Kyle this tape. I am so confused as to like.
And they made multiple copies too.
Right.
Yeah.
When did this happen?
They sent it to hard
It
copy.
was like a commercial break, and then we came back and it's like, wait, did I miss something? Did I miss a whole act?
I think a whole day went by in that commercial break apparently.
Yeah, so they made a tape of the murder, but they faked it, right? That wasn't like a security tape, right?
That's what I assume. Yes, that's what I.
Okay.
Yes.
So he had to put on the dead QR's shirt.
Yep.
Unless he had a bunch of burgundy shirts. Probably not.
Yeah. Well,
and then they had to reenact it.
Well, that's what they were showing Waves. Is like, oh, you're gonna want to watch this part. Watch, this is so good. Oh,
Yep.
that looked like that hurt.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they were rubbing it in her face. Like, look, we can do this
Yeah.
too. That I like.
Very creative, because you can't do that in a normal story without
Right.
copies and doubles of people.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that whole thing was very creative. I'll give them credit for that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The timeline and the calendar, no. I agree with
Right,
Mike
right.
on that.
Yeah.
MJ. I agree with MJ on that.
Thanks, AM. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm against it.
it's
Yeah.
just another example of how hard it is to follow the timelines in this episode. It's
Yeah.
just there's so much blackmail happening, but there's just these gaps.
Right.
And you know, it looks like they're going to slide in like 3 hours time on the third day,
And they're doing video production
and they've somehow in all this time, they did that.
with wigs, makeup.
Mhm.
Yeah, without Wade of this world knowing. Where's she been?
Yeah.
And duplicating tapes,
Yeah.
which
Right.
back then was real time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you couldn't copy paste it. You had to play and
That's
record.
true.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
true. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I kind of alluded to this before. The B plot was my favorite part of the episode. Honestly, it was an actual teaching moment of growth with Tiffany's character, and she's like learning something from them. But then she does have that line, I guess, when you're up to your ass in alligators, you tend to forget that your job is to drain the swamp, and that statement just hasn't aged well in a post-Trump world.
No,
that's
no, no.
good line, but no, that did not age well.
The way to drain the swamp, I guess, is to add more alligators.
Right?
I'm not sure. We should know, Damon.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But so this is where, so I guess they made the deal with Gillette off camera, because that's I guess.
Yeah, while they were duplicating tapes.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Mhm. But again, the story's all over the place. It's really hard to follow.
Genius idea, him changing the will, though,
Yeah.
to get the guy to help, because
Yeah.
he don't care.
Right.
Oh
right.
yeah, they did that during the commercial break too, apparently.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot
that
gets done
all
during the commercial
happened
break.
like we didn't see any of that happen off camera. So I'm like, okay, I guess I get that, but still, it's like, when did that happen? It's just
Yeah,
I did
for it
like-
to happen off camera,
yeah.
but there was no passage of time. That's
But then Wade,
Maybe there wasn't just doubles. Maybe there was triples. Maybe that's how they got it all done. Maybe different slider teams converged at this time, and we didn't realize it. Maybe if we watch it again,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I did like the B story. It gave me kind of the feelings of almost City on the Edge of Forever, where they were Spock and Kirk were looking for Bones, but they were on their own story separately, and there was a flop for the evening and all that stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It gave me like echoes of it, maybe.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like it might have been a part of an idea in their head when
Yeah.
they started.
Mhm.
But I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I like that. And then Wade 2. I guess we're calling her Wade 2. That she said she'll start over and she'll move to Florida because because the mandatory requirement down there is 40. Like
40.
So, damn, we're still senior citizens, Albie. Like,
Yeah.
still.
I think Mike could pass. I don't know about us, Damon.
no.
I don't know if he's got the beauty filter on. I've never seen him in person.
I'm gonna be 50 next year.
I am over 40, but
Really?
I don't
Wow.
know. I don't know if Canada followed the same retirement ideas in this world
They're
as
probably in
Probably
their own
not.
world up there.
Yeah. They probably got their stuff together. Again, Tracy Torme, amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I thought you get a good laugh at the Florida reference, so congratulations,
Yeah.
Gramps.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Gramps.
Yeah, they were definitely very agitated at old people.
Yeah.
Too much.
Very
so.
much so.
Yeah.
It reminded me of like when they time travel back to and everybody's racist. It was that level of like hatred
Yeah.
for old people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And aren't their parents old? You know?
Yeah.
Aren't their
Right.
brothers and sisters maybe a little bit older than them or something?
too much?
Yeah.
You just kick them to the
Too
curb?
much contempt for the older people. Like it just. I don't know
Yeah.
why there had to be so much. Like I said, I get it, but also just too much contempt. It was. Yeah. That's kind of where it fell flat for me a bit.
Mhm.
Mhm. But maybe it's because this is the last episode they produced. Because we're basically ending with Arturo kind of reiterating what the premise of the show is about. and then on every world they visit, their doubles are essentially the same people. They just make different choices. And then he says they can't save every world that they visit. So just it did kind of almost seem like, well, we're explaining this to you, like it's almost like we're ending the season by just we're just showing you what this was about. Or I don't know, I just found it interesting. They don't usually like just put it out there like that, like so clearly. But I think that's about it for the main plot, right? Yeah. So this is where I'll get into the side note. This is according to, it might have been on other sites too, but I know it's on earthprime.com. So apparently there was an alternate ending where the Cro-Mags were going to be somehow involved in what was happening on this world. So that scene was even shot, and which is why the Cro-Mag is credited at the end. So I think I guess there were like legal purposes why they had to keep the credit there, but they got rid of the scene because they realized that it didn't work in the script. It could also be because Invasion aired afterwards or something, so maybe they realized it couldn't work. But I think it was supposed to involve Razor Gillette. I feel like I read that somewhere that he was going to be talking to the Cro-Mag or something, or that he was a Cro-Mag in disguise. So, I don't remember what it was. I feel like I read that somewhere.
That might have fixed a plot hole that I saw that kind of bumped me about this episode, where evil Wade was like, yeah, you're from parallel dimensions, cool, and she just keeps moving on,
right?
Doesn't faze her a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So maybe she already knew that there was parallel dimensions or something.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't remember where
people freak out when they meet their doubles.
I don't remember where I read that. I think it was supposed to be like Razor. It might have been in that book that I had that was like the guidebook or something, and it said something like he's talking to.
Are there deleted scenes anywhere, like on DVDs available somewhere?
No, they didn't put that on the DVDs. It was
just the episodes.
Yeah, I mean the most Universal did was they did the little thing with on the first and second seasons with talking to Tracy Torme, like what they did for Quantum Leap when Quantum Leap first was on DVD.
Yeah,
and that's like the bare basics of what they did, and then they didn't even really do much after that. So,
I've been enjoying the DVDs. Yeah. That set has been great.
Yeah. Well, you have the Mill Creek one, right? The one that's actually in.
Well, I have both.
Oh, okay.
The original sponge ones where the discs are like a wormhole.
Oh, okay.
And then I have the Mill Creek one. But I'm watching the Mill Creek ones.
Yeah. All right. Was there anything else that came up in this that we wanted to talk about, or? I think I'm done with it.
I had a thought watching the end of the episode. Okay. Rembrandt and Arturo join Quinn and Wade at the end, and they're just they all meet up right on time. I was thinking they should have code words or like a statement or something so they know that they're the actual people, especially when they're impersonating themselves and switching out and stuff all the time. They could have each had a word that they say to each other, and that would have been a good plot point in one episode where one of them didn't know what they were supposed to say or something.
Yeah, that's an excellent point.
But they needed safe words because, I mean, their doubles look a lot like them.
Yeah.
Especially since we now no longer know if it's the right Arturo or not. And we never...
I don't think it is.
And we never will know.
the way John Rhys Davies played it, I don't think... I think they left him behind.
I know.
My God. Is that what he says?
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. That which was ad-libbed.
Yeah.
Wasn't in the script.
And just his face, you could read it all over his face. And that always freaked me out. I always wanted to know.
I know.
I never found out.
We'll never know. Unless it's mentioned. They won't even in a reboot, they won't. I don't think they'll even acknowledge that at all. That's just,
are they all still alive? Is John Rhys still alive?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're all still alive, but Sabrina Lloyd is
do something.
She's retired. I think she's living in Europe. I forget what the story is.
Sabrina Lloyd?
She's in Europe or something. She's like I think she's like an artist now and stuff. And,
is she single?
No, she's got a family.
Ah, damn it. Thought I had a chance.
The one that got away.
Yep. I blame the Cro-Mags. I could have been happy.
All right, you've got one goof, Mike.
Yeah, okay, let's move on to the goofs. When Arturo lands in the chaise lounge at the slide in, it breaks under his landing, which it probably would for anybody.
Yeah.
But when Remy helps him up, the chair is fully intact again.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's
Did they film it out of order?
exactly. Yep, that'd be my guess.
Yeah.
That was the only goof I caught.
Yeah.
Was it a stunt person?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't look that closely.
Now I got to rewatch it.
So
Yeah. The only other obvious goofs are the timeline, just which we've
that was a bunch of goofs.
explained ad infinitum, or however we've said that numerous times already. So
yeah.
I don't know what that means, infinitum, but I know what it means, but I don't know what it means.
Yeah, it just means like
Ad infinitum just
doing it
means
over and
into
over
infinity.
again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're smart, Mike. Canada.
It's Latin.
Nice. Florida, Canada. Different.
Yeah.
Opposite.
Memorable lines. Feel free to jump in if you had any, Albie. From our list, mine was in reference to that last scene where Arturo lands and says, "At last, a soft landing."
Yeah.
So the next one is Rembrandt referring that one earlier we talked about where he says, "Yeah, well, that would really cheer me up, Professor, if I were a tree."
Right.
I got a good chuckle out of that one.
Yeah, and then Arturo had that line. How could it be worse when your judge is Dennis the Menace and your lawyer is a Debbie Gibson wannabe?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good. One line that stood out. I didn't know what it meant. Maybe you can explain it. The reference. The lawyer's name was Tiffany August, and I think one of the lines was dubbed in there like ADR, and it said, "Well, that gives a new meaning to August for the people."
Oh, yeah.
What is that reference to? I looked it up, and it was like a play or something, but I've never seen it or heard of it.
I do remember that line. Yeah, I don't know what that means.
But it was a reference that was totally lost on me.
Yeah.
But it makes me want to go down a rabbit hole.
I didn't get it either.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tiffany August.
It
must be about maybe lawyers or
it
something.
must mean something.
Maybe.
Judges.
Yeah.
Justice.
Yeah. And then Quinn is telling Wade the only thing we have in common is wishing the person we were looking at was someone else.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was a.
I did like that.
That was a. Yeah, wow, that was a rough one. That's a really good line.
Did they not know she was the killer all along? Because she wasn't in shock, and she was just acting like her husband didn't just die.
I don't know.
Like a cold-hearted snake.
Yeah.
Look into her eyes. She's been telling lies.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. It was just always obvious. Like, I think we all knew watching it, right?
Yeah.
But like, how did they not know in universe that she was just cool with everything?
Maybe he just didn't want to think that Wade could be so evil. I guess. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's probably it, because they associated so much with their own Wade. They didn't think she could possibly have killed anybody.
Girl, and like she's the girl next door that Quinn is buds with, and we're buds, right? You know.
Wasn't there that one episode that they were kind of like getting romantic a little bit?
Yes.
Was it the Ice Age planet, or where was it?
I think it was Last Days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The asteroid was gonna.
And then they just dropped that, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, they kind of hinted about it every so often, but
yeah, it was will they or won't they? They won't.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think in season 3 they pretty much drop it because they were focusing more on like an action story. I don't think they don't really want to like focus on that.
I like the romance. I liked when they kissed, even though it wasn't them.
Yeah,
lipstick everywhere. Yeah. I don't know where you guys land on lipstick. Like, it's just a mess.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
The next quote I have is a back and forth between Quinn and Arturo, where Quinn says, "Professor, you were right," and Arturo says, "About?" And Quinn says, "About never getting involved with the locals. We don't know what we're getting into."
Haven't they been saying that since the beginning?
I know. Yeah, it took him 2 years to admit to Arturo he's right, but
yeah,
I feel like there've been so many times when they said we shouldn't get involved with the locals, and on the next slide, well, it doesn't matter.
let's get involved with everything. Let's run for office.
Yeah.
But then that's contrary to the next line I had, which was in the same scene. Arturo says, "Can't save every world you land on."
Right.
Yeah. But they didn't set out to go out and save worlds and change where they land. They they were just wanting to explore, and once they couldn't get back home, they started seeing themselves as I don't know, writers of wrong, if you will.
Yeah. Well, something that I just thought of when you're, I'm looking at the lines. I'm like, is this our Arturo that's talking? Because maybe he's asking, well, what were you right about? Like, maybe he doesn't know what Quinn's referring to, and then he's like, well, he can't save every world you land on. Maybe he's assuming that that's their. I'm fishing.
He's just trying to.
Fishing, but
well, how many episodes ago was it where they switched out Arturo's?
If they switched them out, it wouldn't have been that long ago. So
yeah.
If
5 or 6.
Come on.
Yeah. I know.
Come on.
If.
Come on.
If.
Well, they never confirm it. So.
Did he in any interviews? There's some lore about that, right?
Tracy Torme, he feels that it was. I did we bring this up in Invasion? I don't know if we did.
I think so.
Maybe
when we talked about it.
I'm old. I don't remember. I'm over 30.
I think he felt like it was the wrong Arturo, and he was gonna like use the Cro-Mags to kind of get him back to them, and it wouldn't have been like a long thing, but
that'd have been good.
Yeah. All right, so we have a lot of comments, and we want to get into all of them. It's a lot. I mean, I wanted to save some of these for since a lot of them were about Invasion, since Albie was on Invasion.
But my question is, Tiffany or Debbie Gibson? You haven't answered.
I liked Debbie Gibson.
Okay.
I did. I like Debbie.
Mike?
MJ? Don't remember who Debbie Gibson is.
Really?
What? Electric Youth.
No, what was her? What was Lost in Your Eyes? That's a good song that she did.
I'm familiar with her music, but I don't know what she looks like.
Oh.
So then your vote would be
Tiffany.
Okay. You both answered incorrectly. The correct answer is Robin Sparkles.
Oh, okay. Robin Sparkles. This is the very first time you were on, Albie. You mentioned her. I'm like embarrassed that maybe I should be embarrassed that I don't know who she is.
Mike knows who she is, right?
We know.
MJ, national hero there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good third choice. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, comments. All right, so As Time Goes By came in like pretty recently, so you want me to start saying those and then?
Sure.
Yeah. All right, so because I actually have to address one of these too. So this was Jeremy Hotchtail. He's from the Slideheads Facebook group. He said, this was one of the best episodes of the season and the last written by Tracy as they were trying to push him out. So I have to clarify that a little bit. Tracy Torme did not write that one, but I guess maybe he was just kind of thinking that he had something to do with the episode, or that was the one with time reversed and everything. And but then Will, Mr. Pleasant TV, he's been catching up on some of them recently. So he's commented again. He said, this episode is the first time that they lost me a little. I think I understood the reasoning, but I still feel they ran out of material, and it was only season 2. So I liked the episode. I know it was a little hard to follow, but I enjoyed it. It was an interesting idea.
Yeah.
All right, Invasion. You wanna say some of these?
Sure.
Mike?
Yeah. So Susie Q's never-ending jewelry party.
Stacy.
I know her.
Yeah, Stacy from the. What is
Stacy?
What is it, Albie? What's the podcast?
The Deep Dive Al's Place TV Watch Along podcast with Dave and Stacy. Susie.
She's gonna get on your case again.
I think he does it on purpose now.
I think so too.
Yeah, it's easier to not remember it.
Yeah,
but that makes people remember it, right?
Yeah,
but I don't remember it. But I recommend it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Stacy's comment was, Chris's summary is great. rolling on the
when
floor
Chris did the
emoji. It
recap.
was,
Yeah.
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 She says, "Oh my goodness, those original season 1 and 2 DVDs. Yes, the packaging looked cool, but they got scratched pulling in and out of those foam pieces, and then got sun damage sitting on my bookshelf in college and died a sad death. So I always scorned that packaging."
I give them a thumbs up for the idea, the concept of it.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows how that polyfoam is going to age?
Ooh,
I haven't
yeah.
dug them out of my box yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You want me? Oh, you can do this. Yeah, this is Thomas. Yeah.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
Thomas Slider's fan blog says the episode was nominated for an Emmy for sound editing. Invasion was okay, but the inundation of the Cro-Mags in season 4 was way too much.
Mm-hmm.
Delia 1987 sorry,
Yeah,
these are replies to Thomas. Okay.
Yeah.
So Delia 1987 replied, they were only in 4 to 5 episodes, to which Thomas replied, it was actually 7. 8 if you include Asylum, which the episode that revolved around the Cro-Mag War, which was still too much in my opinion. Genesis, Common Ground, Slide Cage, Asylum, The Dying Fields, Mother and Child, Way Out West, and Revelations.
Yeah,
All
all season 4 episodes. So
yeah,
I feel like they were in.
They
more
seem
than that,
more. They seem like it was a lot more than that.
That's what I assumed it was more, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember them vividly from
yeah.
from the first
maybe
run. But
maybe I didn't like the story, so every time they were on screen, I was like, ugh.
Yeah. All right.
It's like the Klingon episodes. They're okay, but another one.
I agree with you on that, Albie. I feel the same way about the about the Klingons. I like them, but it always seems the same to me.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I can read because Elijah he's like Russian or something, so I don't even know what his actual name was, but I could read this one that he said.
Sure.
So in Invasion, they introduced the Cro-Mags, but they did not know where they were going with them. In season 4, they had an idea that I thought was pretty good. However, they changed their appearance and humanized them in unnecessary ways with the Nazi uniforms and all that crap. None of this was damaging to the concept of the Cro-Mags until they completely effed shit up by making it that an alternate Quinn gave them the sliding technology. What were they thinking? The concept presented in Genesis that they came from a world where they coexisted with humanity until they went to war, and then in Proving Ground that they lost that war, but encountered Quinn, who they somehow detected was of their world's humanity, and planted a tracker in him in hopes that he would eventually return and lead them there, was a pretty interesting concept. That's a nice run-on sentence there. It could have been done better for sure, but the truth is that the reality they were from would have been very different from most other realities. There would have been 2 humanoid species developing side by side, resulting in an unimaginably different environment due to the competition of those. For those reasons, there is more advanced technology, especially military sciences and metallurgy. In this reality, very few of the same humans as on Earth Prime would exist. On this Earth, Michael Mallory was with an Elizabeth and not an Amanda, etc., etc. On this Earth, our modern nation states would not exist, but they effed that theory up in the episode Sly Cage when a human from this Cro-Mag Prime mentioned Thanksgiving, a uniquely American thing. Very long comment. It was very good points.
Yeah.
I agree with pretty
It
much
might have
all
been
of them.
Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It could have been, yes.
Right.
That's
Yes.
in October.
We should all come together on that eventually after the
Mhm.
war's over between our nations. We should have one Thanksgiving. I vote for Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Space it out a bit. Like having it in early
Yeah.
October is much better than a month before Christmas.
Yeah, it's all runs together that way.
Mhm.
I celebrate both because I like gluttony.
Oh,
That's
there
my
you
thing.
Lewis Jones comments on Invasion. Great episode. Love that Benish was kind of back.
Mhm.
I think they mentioned in season 5 some very loose explanation of how they always slide safely and not underground.
Oh yeah, because I think we brought that up a bit. Like
Yeah,
where-
water, all kinds of things.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, under a polar ice cap,
Yeah.
like Mission Impossible. Did you guys see that yet?
No, I'm not really into like I'm not really into like the Mission Impossible movies. I mean, not that I don't like them, but I never got around to watching them all.
Crazy.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to do post-traumatic or?
Sure, let's do post-traumatic slide syndrome.
All right. Okay.
What was that one about again?
That's the Arturo switcheroo.
Okay, yeah.
Possible.
Yeah, possible.
Come
likely,
on.
Likely. Likely.
I'm gonna go to a convention and ask him. I'll be like, you got to tell Mike. I'm gonna record this. Tell Mike. Sorry, MJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Today I'm MJ.
Mm-hmm.
So Nicholas Dawson comments, it's funny. I'm rewatching Sliders for the 100th time.
Woo!
This time introducing my wife to the show. Just watched this
Nice.
episode yesterday. This episode is amazing, but the ending, never being resolved, is so crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's right. Never being resolved.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I'll think about in my final moments.
Okay.
Like, damn it.
Yeah. And then
I gotta know.
yeah.
I know, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm. And then Thomas again from the Sliders, slidecage.com, Sliders fan blog says, PTSS is a complete genius idea and certainly one of the best. I wouldn't say it's my favorite because it really tends to lean on a continuous fall of discouragement. For example, they're not home, Quinn's in despair trying to warn them, Wade is in denial, Arturo turns on them, etc. But I guess that's why it's traumatic syndrome. They should have allowed Tracy Torme to work on the premise throughout more episodes, but Fox is being Fox. The King is back, The Guardian, etc. are more my thing because they lean towards comedy and heartwarming subject matter. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Next we have a new subscriber, God of the Robots,
Yeah.
who says, holy fack, Sliders nerds, I'm home. All right. Welcome, God of the Robots. Glad to have you aboard.
Yeah.
The beautiful part of this episode is the last scene when you know that Arturo is himself, the true Arturo.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking to a former colleague and he's super excited about his future. She has no idea what he's talking about because, of course, in her world, Arturo never left.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's the last time we see the real Arturo. I think Torme wanted us to think that the bad Arturo might have slid, but if you keep track of the original and follow his arc through, it really does seem like the good one slides in the end to me. The doubt is what gives this episode so much power.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That oh my
Come
god.
on.
That, oh my god moment. Yeah.
I'm with the God of the Robots.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like the Sliders version of Tuvix. You got to be on one side or the other, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then Delija 1987 again says, I watched season 3 on YouTube and it seems there is an episode that's out of place. Roughly 3 episodes after the professor gets killed by Rickman, he appears in another episode. It seems they are not in order. Yeah, I guess if you're watching them on YouTube, they're going by the universal, the original air date order. If you're not watching them on the yeah, probably. It's probably lists the episode or like kind of what we do, how I put the review and then the episode number, which is the order that they went in. So like in the air date.
Right.
I could say the rest of them if you want. This is somebody else.
Sure.
Alberto Gabriel was asking, do you think the world of Genesis is the same world as in episode 1? I think I responded something to that effect, because we'll get to that when we get to Genesis, because
Genesis, yeah.
It now I don't even remember what I said. I did reply to that because it's the whole Quinn being adopted, but like that doesn't make any sense because what is he adopted in every world they went to? Because she's still his mom on every other world. Right. Now, why? Yeah, that to me didn't make sense. So I'm like, I don't think it's supposed to be the same. We're just supposed to think it's the same. But we'll get to that.
In one world, he had a sister with the same parents. So
right. Mm-hmm. But if he was
Yeah.
adopted, then like what? That yeah. Mm-hmm.
Some things didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Especially in the later episodes. I don't know if you guys know, but as the seasons go on,
Yeah.
how are you going to deal with that? Like, while you get to the end of the series, are you going to be like, do we keep going?
Well,
What do we do?
We said we would. I mean,
yeah.
I feel like season 4 it gets a lot of. I think there's actually some really good in that. So
Okay.
I feel like season 5 tried. I don't think I ever actually got through the whole season either. But for other reasons, it wasn't. It's. We'll get there. I think there's if you can put aside some things, some of it's not that bad. But we'll
Kari were. You got to get her on the show. When she's on the show, I'll be here.
I maybe not at first, but I think that she came into her own as a character. I will say that.
Yeah.
I think that she got better. Amada may disagree, but
It
she was watching it and she was like, I don't think she. And then Will again, Mr. Pleasant TV says 10 out of 10. They could have done so much with this canon. It's a shame Fox got in the way.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
agreed. Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The only other comment I was going to say was from Great Fellas, because Thomas was asking. I might as well read his. It says you'll never get back to your home if you slide into Canada. Great theme, guys. The intro was great. And that these guys are kind of cool comment, which was from Albie. He was like, is he Cro-Mags or podcast? Were you talking about us, or were you talking about when you said these guys are kind of cool? Were you talking about yourself? Yeah. Probably.
I would. Yeah. Exactly.
That's why I wanted to bring that one up. All right. All right, guys. We can say the rest of them. I guess in the bonus thing, which we'll talk about.
Yeah,
I guess toward the end. All right. So final thoughts, I guess. Albie, do you have a rating out of 10?
Rating out of 10.
Should
okay, I'm gonna give it.
No?
Huh? First, you got to pick a random number.
Oh, right. Okay. So what are we
42.
doing with this?
42. Okay, that's a great one.
It came up earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It's the answer to everything.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ooh, centerfold. Okay. 42. Okay. Now again, these are haikus. This is from the book by John Irons and Jared Stern. 1,700 esoteric syllables about Yo Mama.
Mm-hmm.
Available on Amazon.
Yep.
Kindle form and paperback. Yo Mama so old. The bill was still forming when she spent over it. What? Let me try to read that again. Did you guys get it? I didn't get it.
No.
Yo Mama so old, the bill was still forming when she went over it.
Okay.
Did I read it wrong?
When she went, the bill was still forming when she went over it. Yo Mama so old, the bill was still forming. The hill was still forming.
The hill.
The hill was still forming.
Oh, I totally ruined that. Okay. This is 42. Yo Mama so old, the bill was... No, I did it again. Yo Mama so old, the hill was still forming when she went over it.
Oh,
that's funny.
That's funny.
Again, available, link below, John Irons and Jared Stern, 1,700 esoteric syllables about Yo Mama.
Nice. Am I? Do you want me to say one? What, giving a number and then what you're giving one?
That'd be great. One more.
Just a random number.
Yeah, I think there's 115 or something.
Okay, 49.
100. There's 100.
49. That's my age. I don't know if I should
49.
Be admitting that, but that's my age.
I know someone who is 49 for a few more days. Yeah. Okay, Yo Mama So Broke. Again, this is 1,700 esoteric syllables about Yo Mama by John Irons and Jared Stern. Yo Mama So Broke. In the 18th century France, she'd have been Baroque.
Baroque. Oh my God.
Link down below. It's worth it.
Yeah.
$17 paperback. I think is like $5.99 on a Kindle.
Yeah.
What's my rating for this episode? Out of 10, I'm going to give it 5 Impact Colas.
Okay. Impact Colas.
It had some good points. It had some good story points. The timeline was a mess. Mike, you're right about that. Mm-hmm. I loved Sabrina Lloyd in this episode. She turned me on, and she was just a good actor in this episode. You know, she did her job well. Mm-hmm. She did her art well. Everyone else was okay. The story was okay. A lot of fortune telling that came true again from Sliders, which is scary. I guess if you wait long enough, everything is true once.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for Sabrina Lloyd, and of course my episode crush was Laura Harris as Margot Hill. Something about her.
She didn't have a really big role either. I mean,
Nope, she was in there for like 90 seconds.
Yeah.
But I was like, I know her.
Yeah.
But of course, my forever crush, Sabrina Lloyd.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work out with your family and your husband over there in France or something, you give me a call.
All right. Me and Mike are pretty much equal here. And we're not much better than 5. Wow, that was like okay.
Sorry, it's not the best episode.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't. I think for seasons 1 and 2, I wasn't gonna go lower than a 6. So like it's season 3. There's gonna be stuff that's probably gonna be like negative ratings for me. But probably.
Your episode of Sliders is so bad. You could write that book, David.
Yeah. I mean, not super terrible, but like I'm giving it 6 QR codes out of 10.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, the QR code on screen now.
Yeah.
Creating more work for someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to rehash it. It could have been better, but I'm giving it 6 fake confessions out of 10.
Yeah. Did Serenity have a rating for it, or you think she would have?
She did not share it with me.
Yeah, I think she had it.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
She can leave a comment, send an email,
or
send a video. She can do a response video.
Yeah.
She can do a TikTok while she's dancing, talking about the episode. I don't know what to do.
All right, Albie, you want to plug some of your stuff?
Sure. Of course, the Quantum Leap podcast, always and forever. And Trexploration, me and my friend Christopher D. Philippus talk about Star Trek.
Yeah.
2 middle-aged white guys talking about Star Trek. It's a brand new concept.
Yeah.
And we're kind of making it work.
Yeah.
He's on his way to Europe, so we got some guest hosts coming up. It'll be me and some guest hosts. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
And if you like Star Trek and you like this, it's kind of like this, but Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think Damon and Mike might be on soon. So you definitely got to subscribe to us over at youtube.com/@Trexploration. Trexploration of love. and of course, our sponsor over there is reductivearts.com. Check them out for all your podcasting needs.
There you go. Yeah.
Video editing, audio editing, leave it to them. Let them do the drudgery. Just have fun recording with your friends.
Yep.
reductivearts.com. I think you guys got a promo code, don't you?
Oh, yes. Oh, wow. What did I what did I say for that? I don't remember what
I think you said Fandom 5.
Okay. Yeah, Fandom 5.
Or was it Entanglement 5?
No, I think Fandom.
That might be more difficult.
No, Fandom 5 sounds good. Okay, Fandom 5. Yeah.
Okay.
There we
just tell them MJ and Damon sent you.
Yeah.
MJ and DC.
Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me that I completely forgot about that. That's what happens when you get old. Yeah.
That'll save you 5% over there at Reductive Arts for their startup package.
There you go. All right. So do you want to kind of say what we're doing next, Mike? Or
Next up is our second bonus episode, putting a bow on the 30th anniversary of Sliders.
Yeah.
We'll be doing a brief overview of season 2 and delving into the comics for those who are familiar with the comics. And if you're not,
we're going to try to
find them on earthprime.com. Read up on them before you watch. We'll be going over that in more detail, along with a few surprises from the Sliders community.
Yeah, we got some surprises there. That should be nice. So
you're holding out Sabrina Lloyd. Yeah, couldn't have her on this episode with me. Okay.
All right. So until next time.
Wait, no, you forgot to tell them to like and subscribe. Get out of the way. Let me do it. Be sure to like and subscribe. Share your opinion on the episodes in the comments. We do a roundup of comments in the future videos. Visit our website at fandomentanglement.com. Email us at fandomentanglement@gmail.com. Join our Facebook discussion group at facebook.com/fandomentanglement. Follow us on Blue Sky at fandomentanglement.bsky.social. Follow us on Mastodon at fandomentanglement.com. mastodon.social. You can sign off now.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. All right, now we can sign off. Until next time, I'm Mike.
And I'm Damon.
And I'm Albie.
Mm-hmm. And we'll see you soon, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.